tell me about the piece itself? Do you know about it?
Well, I've had it for about 20 years. It belonged to an aunt of mine. She had it, I don't know for how long, I suppose again about 20 years. It was given to her by a friend and admirer. How long it had been in his family, I don't know.
It just goes back as long as, beyond what you can remember
oh,
anyway.
Absolutely, yes.
With the factory mark, Burmantofts Faience, grand-sounding name, used by the Leeds Fireclay Company. They started as an architectural firm making glazed bricks and pieces for buildings, and they got into the great Victorian craze of making art pottery, particularly vases and models of animals in bright-coloured glazes. And then around 1880s, about 1886, 1887, they employed a very skillful decorator to do the Anglo-Persian style, as they advertised it. And this is the mark of the painter, a little monogram here, which is taken a bit an L and a K, and that mark appears on all the factory's pieces in this wonderful style. But the sad thing is, we don't know who it belongs to. The mark was clearly someone very skilled who understood high Victorian taste of the time, but we don't know their name at all, so it remains anonymous. And because of that, it perhaps gets condemned a bit as a copy of the better-known William de Morgan pottery.
Yes, I've heard of that.
You know, the great designs of the time. And de Morgan's pieces, inspired by the same Islamic art, were the height of fashion in the 1880s, shown in great exhibitions in London. And the Leeds factory felt, well, we can do just as well.
Yes.
And I think in many ways they did. When you've got the thought behind the design, it really works so well. The way these snakes coil around, and the background with the little plants just growing up inside there. It's probably not yet in the same level as William de Morgan, who will always be the great leader of the field. But even a good old Burmantoft piece is certainly going to be, I would think, £4,000 or £5,000.
Oh, really? That's amazing.
It's the first album that the Beatles made, which is, rare in its own right, but that is fantastic, because unlike most of the signatures that I see, these are actually right. Now, you, Geraldine?
No, I'm Colleen. My dad was a policeman, and he was a sergeant, and he was at... he used to protect the Beatles when they were at Finsbury Park Astoria, so he got to know them very well, and he asked them to sign it for us.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's valuable. It's going to be worth something in the region of £1,000 to £1,500. It's very, very good, rare and desirable.
So
well
I can't
done.
let the kids play with it.
Definitely not.